Hello and welcome to this video on Championship Manager Season 99-2000. Now this video is all about, yeah, you've guessed it, attacking midfielders. Now right in front of you is arguably the best number 10, the best attacking midfielder of the modern game, Zinedine Zidane. Now obviously there are other players out there who can fight for that title, such as probably Paul Scholes at Man United, Gianfranco Zola from his time at Chelsea, Francesco Totti at Roma, Luis Figo. Plenty of other players who could potentially take that mantle off him, but he's up there, Zidane. But I'm about to tell you why on Championship Manager 99-2000 he's not all that. And none of those players for me are all that. Very controversial, you might say. But if you look at his stats here, Zinedine Zidane, he usually gets about half a dozen goals a season. Now, granted, half of them, if not more, will be absolute worldies, fair enough. But if your striker's not performing, you need your attacking midfielders to be getting the goals for you. And no offence to Zidane or the other aforementioned players, they don't get enough goals for me. So I'm about to tell you now which players you can rely on for those goals. Before I do, if I can just ask you please to subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. It helps me no end and it makes me want to share even more with you when I can. So please subscribe. Without any further ado, here is this next player. The player. If you're at Barcelona, Juventus, Inter Milan, Ajax, Feyenoord, PSV, you need to sign Pablo Aimar. He's at River Plate in Argentina. You can usually get him for about 6 to 10 million, depending on who you are. He does definitely want to move. He's a very ambitious lad. But Pablo Aimar, play him in this position here. So at Ajax, Amsterdam Arena, 4-4-2. So a 4-4-2 diamond would work. Play him there, attacking midfielder. What's another formation that would work? 3-5-2 attacking. I used to love this formation. Only issue with this formation, you'd win a lot of games 7-3 instead of 1-0, which is great, but often you'd come unstuck and maybe lose, get a thumping because you're a bit light at the back. But there, attacking midfielder is where you'd play them, and my go-to formation, this one, that's where I'd play your attacking midfielder. So Pablo Aimar, trust me, he is prolific, he's young, he's got it all. The only issue is you can't sign him if you manage in England or Scotland because of work permits. Bit more on that. Basically, if you look at Pablo Aimar now, he's got 2 international caps. In a couple of years' time, he'll probably have 10 or 12, and then you can probably sign him for a British team. But unfortunately, on this game, work permits are an issue. Absolute nightmare. You can sign him pretty much anywhere else in the world, but not Britain. Okay, a player you can sign anywhere, including Britain, is this man, and you all know him, Mr. Joe Cole. He's injured at the minute on this game. Don't worry, it's only a month through a damaged kneecap. He'll be back for pre-season. His stats speak for themselves. Brilliant stats. Look at his goal scoring. Oh, these stats are going to do me. So he's not scored yet for West Ham, but trust me, he does score, and he does get big. He can get big moves to Real Madrid. Usually ends up at Man United, if I'm not going to lie. West Ham fans won't want to hear that, but he doesn't normally stick around at West Ham. He usually does get snapped up by a top team, and he does score a lot of goals behind the front too. Now, if you ask me who my go-to, apart from Pablo Aimar, is this guy. This is my go-to attacking midfielder, and his name is Kenedy Bakayoglu. I know it looks like it should be Bakayoglu. I call him Bakayoglu, or Baki for short, he doesn't mind. Kenedy Bakayoglu or Baki, this is the guy. Funny one with him, he's only worth 350,000. You probably need to offer 2.5 to get Hammarby to accept initially. If they reject, he loses it. He desperately wants to leave Hammarby. Usually then he goes AWOL or he becomes very unsettled, and then you can probably get him for about £1 million, £500,000 if you're lucky. But you'll probably have competition to just pay over the odds. With a player like this, Kenedy Bakayoglu, please pay over the odds. Do not miss out on him. Okay, so one that's a bit left field now, and you're thinking, who the hell's this guy? Brendan Burke at Altrincham, non-league Altrincham in England. You're probably looking at him thinking, what's so good about him? This is what's so good about him. Another game I've got with him, I signed him for Russian and Diamonds, who are also in the non-league, and 85 goals in 107 games. So I think those stats speak for themselves, and they were all playing behind the front two. And don't think, oh, he can only perform lower league. He can perform higher, trust me. He's scored in European Cup finals for me. He's very prolific. If he scores one, he often gets two or three. He's that kind of player. Brendan Burke, remember the name. About £100,000 you have to pay for him. He's, let's have a quick look. Yeah, about £100,000. Look, already interest from 4 other teams. 100 grand, 100% gets you his signature. So don't mess about, basically. Just get him in. Another player, probably not as good or prolific as Burke, but he's very close, is this guy, Stephen Reid at Millwall. Again, £100,000 should land him, and he is a great number 2, number 3. Probably not your go-to guy. If you can get Bakayoglu or Burke first, you'd get them first. Reid would probably be an understudy, someone you can, if you've got injury issues, bring Stephen Reid in, and he'll continue scoring the goals for you. Now, if you want a more mature player, you want someone who's a bit more grounded and less liable to need bedding in, or although the players I've talked about don't really need bedding in, they're always usually good. But if for some reason one of those players doesn't really set the world alight at the start, you can go to this guy, Alex Aguinaga. You can get him for about £1 million, only worth 130,000, maybe £500,000, between £500,000 and £1 million. But Alex Aguinaga is 27, Ecuadorian international. The stats speak for themselves, and he does score some goals. And the good thing about this guy, you can probably sign him for £1 million, and within about a year, 18 months, teams are bidding £8-10 million to him, so you can make a quick profit on him. He's 27, so he's not got that many years ahead of him. But Alex Aguinaga is very reliable when it comes to goals. Now, I'm going to set you a bit of a challenge on this next one, because this next one is a guy called Kallstrom. He's in Häcken in Sweden. He's 16. His stats are very promising, but because I usually sign Aymar, Cole, Bakayoglu, Burke, Reid, Aguinaga before this guy, I've never really given him a big crack at first team football. I think there's a player in this guy, and I think if you played him 30-40 games a season, every season, you could develop him into an absolute class attacking midfielder. I mean, don't take my word for it, because I haven't done it. So if you do it, please let me know. I'm sure there's a player in there. Just because I've always favoured other players over him, he's never really got a look in. And I can't leave this video without talking about this guy. Ronaldinho at Gremio, again similar to Aymar, you won't get him in England or Scotland, but again similar price, between 6 and 10 million you'll land him. And again, the problem with Ronaldinho is brilliant. Look at that, 4 and 7 for Brazil. I'd still favour Aymar, Bakayoglu, probably Joe Cole over him. So if I ever do sign Ronaldinho, I'll probably play him there. So I'll have Aymar there and Ronaldinho there, left hand side of attacking midfield. But no, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please do subscribe. If you want to find your next Zinedine Zidane, then look no further than the players I've mentioned. But these guys are prolific, high scoring players. It's what it's all about. You enjoy yourself, the trophies rolling, and the fans are happy. Happy days. Thanks for tuning in. Again, please subscribe if you haven't already. Really appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time.